Are you wanting to get your first IT help desk job without previous experience? Maybe you're in college and you're looking for a way to get straight to an IT career before you even graduate in 4 years. You're at the right video. I'm going to talk with Alex to share with you the fastest way to learn IT help desk and even how he did it while still paying a fortune for college. And to quote Alex in this one, if you're just going through the motions for a degree, then talk about it with your family. Then he said, that looks a lot more impressive on a resume to me, in my opinion, than a degree. So stay locked in on this one to see exactly what Alex is talking about and what you can do about it. Alex, can you tell us who you are and what you currently do in the tech industry?
Okay, so my name is Alex. Well, officially Alexander. So when I started CourseCareers, I was a university student studying computer science. I had done a couple of internships with the university as an IT support technician, IT administrator, etc., etc. It was all internally in the university. I just started about 4-ish months ago working as an IT technician at CDW Canada, and it's been really good working from my room. It's pretty much my ideal job. My friends are like all the time, they're like, you just work from your room all day, and I'm like, yeah, it's pretty sweet. Um,
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's just basic computer issues that people have, or they just don't understand how to use something, or don't understand how something works, or don't understand how some company process works, and you have to explain it to them and kind of point them in the right direction.
Man, that's okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. So how long have you been with them?
Nearing my 5th month
Okay.
now.
Awesome. Man, you can't beat that right there. So let's roll it back a little bit though. You mentioned you were in college. So what's your education background and what was your career situation like before you actually found Course Careers?
So I was working pretty much. So my college has tier systems for their intern IT jobs. I was working one of the lowest ones, and then when I started CourseCareers, it kind of, I feel like it gave me that edge for my applications to the higher level IT jobs at my college. So I moved toward being a network services assistant. That's what they call it at the college. I prefer the term network administrator because I was doing the work of one, just not getting
Yeah.
paid as one. But one of my biggest projects was I scripted a bunch of stuff on the back end for them. They wanted a script parallelized, is that how you say it? So that it contacts all of the wireless LAN controllers at the same time instead of one after the other, because their script took like a million years to run. So I'm like, okay, I can just quickly do the Python for that. And that was one of the big things. Another thing was they wanted me to go through all of the access points in campus, which is over 7,000, I believe, and check if any of them was broken. If they were, try and see if I can get them to turn on again. And then if I couldn't, make a giant spreadsheet of all of the information needed for them to be repaired. Their location, you could pull that from a tool called Cisco DNA Center, and I forget what the other one was. NetDisco. Yeah, NetDisco.
What initially attracted you to IT? Have you always been in the IT or did that just come along in college? How did that work?
I've always been interested in technology and computers ever since I was a kid. I think it
Okay.
mostly started when I got my first iPad. I got my first iPad when I was pretty young, and I was kind of obsessed with it. It was like a
Yeah.
stereotypical iPad kid. I brought it to lunch, and I was the only one with a giant thing. But I liked it. I mean, everybody was getting their first phone when I was like still having an iPad, and I'm like, it's not, it's not bad at all. iPads are great. Like I could still do everything I wanted to do and better. I didn't need a mini phone.
No, man, that's awesome. So, I mean, sometimes it hits you like that, right? Like you find your thing early and it just consumes you. So, but
Yeah.
with that, I mean, how old are you?
So I just turned 22 on July
Awesome.
8th.
Awesome, man. Okay,
I look
cool.
like 15, but
Hey,
I assure
I
you
didn't
that
want to say it. I didn't want to say it. Oh, that's awesome, man. And so with that, you were already in college going towards IT. What initially attracted you to Course Careers?
well, I was having some arguments with my parents on if college was worth it and if I wanted to stay in it. I personally thought that it was a pretty big waste of time. Like if I didn't work at all, I would consider it like the biggest waste of time ever
Yeah.
because it's too slow and the curriculum is like is monolithic the right word, and the professors have been in academia for so long they're out of touch sometimes,
Yeah.
and but I mean I had some good experiences. I met some people, I made some friends, I worked some jobs, so I made it worth it. But
Yeah.
course careers, I was looking for kind of an out. Like if I can get a job with this, then I don't have to do college anymore. I can kind of fast track my college because what my school offers is either you can do a 3-year bachelor's or a 4-year bachelor's. So I'm like, okay, I made this deal with my parents that if I can get a job and they won't see me homeless, that I can just graduate with a 3-year degree instead of a 4-year degree. So I did that. I didn't want anything to do with any more college. So I
Yeah.
graduated in February this year. My girlfriend said that she wouldn't consider me graduated until I went to the ceremony. So I went to the ceremony and all that got sorted out. So
Oh
it worked
man.
out, I guess.
No, I mean that's awesome. Yeah, sometimes, sometimes we have to make those deals with family, even when we don't necessarily want to, or we have a
Mm.
feeling that something else can work out. But when it comes to course careers, though, after you said, okay, you know what, this might be it, did you have any concerns or doubts like before you started course careers as to if it would work?
Well, I can't remember where I actually found it from, but I was kind
Okay.
of thinking, oh, it's not even worth like a course of what I pay for college, and I
Yeah.
think it'll teach me more down to earth stuff or kind of refresh my knowledge. I mean, I knew a good chunk of it already, but I think that being with Josh and all the other people learning kind of motivated me a bit more to pursue what I needed to pursue.
You just brought it up, so I guess let me ask this little quick question here. You just graduated, right, from college, but then you graduated from Course Careers. You're in your career. Would you say that a lot of the coursework that you were doing in college, was it along the lines of what you're actually doing, or was it a little behind? Is it still catching up to what's actually happening in real life? How is that? Comparing those two sides of that.
In the computer science courses that I took, they're teaching mostly Java, but Java isn't really used in real life anymore. At least for me, it's mainly
Mm,
Python. And just as I was like finishing up with my university, they started up this Python course with this really great professor. I tried to enroll, but it was full
uh,
instantly, so I had to take the Java the Java one instead. But
I
I
had the
think
same
there's
thoughts
like
as you.
slowly catching up. And then when the schools teach Python, real life will be on to the next thing. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
a never ending.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people are starting to see is that, hey, in real life, there's a lot of other things happening a whole lot faster than y'all can get these textbooks changed. And so when you can spend a few $100 and get that information directly and what's actually happening right now, it definitely can change the game for you. With that, though, how did your mindset kind of change once you decided, okay, I'm going to go ahead and take course careers? How did it change as far as when you were going through the course?
Well, I felt that I was learning something that I wanted to learn, which isn't true most of the time when I'm in school. I felt like there was a lot of people surrounding me that were motivated, which in school I don't feel that way. I feel like most people in college are just going through the motions of
Yeah.
college because you gotta go. You gotta go, right? So nobody's really motivated. Nobody really puts in a lot of effort in college. It's just you gotta pass and
Yeah.
move on to the next course.
That
And
makes sense. So speaking of passing, like how long did it actually take you to complete the course and then get a job in IT?
so I think it took me like 2 to 3 months, if I'm remembering correctly, to do the course.
Yeah.
I held off a little bit on doing the final exam, from what I remember. I was already working. I forget if it was the level 1 job at my university or the level 2 job at my university at the time. But then after finishing the course, I was able to get my resume like up to scratch to apply for the third tier. And I I thought that it was an amazing experience for me. I met a bunch of really cool people, network designers, network engineers, network technicians, and it really helped my perspective on IT. It was a shame though because I impressed them a lot and they wanted to actually hire me full time, but my university started a hiring freeze because they weren't getting enough international students to actually pay the bills.
Mm.
So they weren't able to, and it kind of fell through. So I had to go with CDW Canada instead. I had to find other avenues.
Were you able to get a pay increase leaving the level two job at the school and going that route?
So my pay did go up each time I kind of progressed, not nearly enough of what I should being paid because it was like a student job, but I did appreciate there was kind of some progression that you could go through if you were really motivated. I know that a lot of people at my university are like at the first level or the second level, and I'm not sure. I think they just want to finish the degree and move on because I don't
Yeah.
think they want any more responsibility or any more problems. They've already settled into like a job, and it's not something they want to change right now. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay. And so now I know has been a little bit, but how did you really feel once you completed the course and then you were able to get that job? Like, was it worth it in the end?
I think that it was worth it. Definitely more worth it than university because get something on your resume that's really specific and shows that you're motivated, not in a way that university is, because when employers look at your resume, they're like, you went to university, but so did everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you
Yeah.
have this boot camp, if you have something else that shows that you're motivated and shows that you're willing to learn, then it's looked on a lot more fondly, I feel like.
Here, I feel the same way, man. You know, when you can show, yeah, but I have practical experience, right? Things that I've done that looks a lot better for sure. So I know you've been around IT your whole life, like you've loved it. But what do you like most about being in the space now that you're fully in it, like you're working in it? What are you liking most about it?
I'm liking the work-life balance and I'm liking the flexibility that comes with it. Like I can just, dip for a bit whenever I'm in my house. I can just
Yeah.
go about whatever I'm doing and then come back a couple minutes later and nobody cares because it's a fully remote office job where my office is literally a stand like right there. It's not in view, but yeah, it and also my my friends can come over. I mean, I haven't had any yet, but they could technically come over. My Yeah. It's really flexible. I know not all IT jobs are fully remote and as flexible as mine, but I think once you get into this domain, then you can kind of progress towards that if that's something that you want to do.
You know, what you end up finding out is a lot of them are just more about, hey, did you get the work done? Like, this is what we're looking to get done. You're fully remote. Just get the work done. You know, everything else, we're kind of a little flexible on that. So we love those. So, you know, now that you've been in it, right? You've gotten the starter and you've been progressing forward. What are some career goals that you have planned out now that, you know, you have the education and you can really push forward?
So I've been looking towards going into computer security, which my supervisor at NetOps at my university kind of seemed disheartened about because her previous work study, that's what they call them, work studies, also wanted to go into computer security,
Uh,
and she's like, why does nobody like networking? I'm like, it's not that I don't like it, it's just. But anyway, I'd like to go into computer security, ideally. I've been looking into ethical hacking, and I've been looking into platforms like Hack the Box, Try Hack Me, to try and get some of that knowledge before I move forward with that. It's been kind of difficult to find the motivation now that I'm working and now that I don't want to settle. So I gotta push through if I want something better. Right now I have something pretty good. I know it can always be better.
the greatest part about it is, man, you did it early, you know, so you were able to get that jump start, that head start, and now you can really take your time and really get what you want. Do you have anything that you would tell someone who may be thinking about college, or maybe they're in college like you were and it was like, I'm trying to speed this thing up a little bit? Would you recommend Course Careers and Josh's course to get that done?
I would recommend CourseCareers, and then CourseCareers is just a start. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
emphasize that. You
Yeah.
gotta go through all of the IT certifications. Well, not all of them. You gotta figure out where you want to go, and
Yeah.
then say, oh, I want to go into networking. I want to go with the Network Plus, and then I want to take some Cisco courses, and you go from there, right? Or you want to go into computer security, you take A plus, you take computer security, you take, I think it's Pen Test Plus or something,
Yeah.
and that looks a lot more impressive on a resume, in my opinion, than a degree or even a master's degree. Well, I mean, that might be stretching it. I mean, I have no idea how employers think, but I would just say if I were to hire someone, I would want someone with the certifications and like actual like drive to learn other than a degree. It's something that I would recommend people to do, to really think about what they actually want to do. Like if they're just going through the motions of university, then I'd say like talk about it with your family and see if you can do something else. Because if I
Yeah.
was in that position like 4 years ago, I would be to my mom, I would be like, listen, I will just take this course during these months, this course during these months, this course during these months. And if I'm slacking off, just send me to university. But
Yeah.
I know that the university is becoming less relevant as time goes on. And my parents do say that it has some relevance, which I mean I agree. It's a checklist for HR, right? And if you don't have
Yes.
that, sometimes you just get immediately disregarded, you get tossed out. But I think it's really silly that they still do that when there's other avenues of learning.
Yeah, and I think we'll start to see that less and less over
Yeah.
time, especially as more people start having the knowledge and having the experience and like, hey, this one piece you're missing, but you've done so much that we can't we can't pass up on this candidate, right? And I think we'll start
Yeah.
seeing that more and more as time goes on, man. But Alex, I appreciate you for hopping on with us and sharing a little piece of what's happened since you've taken it and how you enjoyed it, and basically helping others do the same thing. So we thank you for hopping on and doing that, man. And best to you going forward. I know you have some great things in store, man.
Thank you. I appreciate being on here.
All right. If you want to follow in Alex's footsteps by going through the Course Careers IT course and landing your first help desk job, I've put a link below in the description for you to sign up for their free information technology introduction course, which is going to teach you everything you need to know about what working in IT help desk is like and how the Course Careers IT program works. Also, if you're still thinking on if IT is right for you, go ahead and click the linked playlist if you want to see more stories like Alex's on information technology. But if you're ready, go ahead and click below to sign up for that free introduction course.